Hey, what's up, Revive? I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Tuesday. I want to come on today and talk about the greatest lie that has fish hooked a lot of people, has held a lot of people back from achieving optimum health, and really, I think, taking responsibility for their health. And really, the greatest lie has made us believe that we don't have control. And there are a lot of things in our life that we don't have control over, but our health is one of those things that we do have control over. And you can choose to live a life healthy, vibrant, from birth to grave. You don't have to be ridden with disease, chronic disease, cancer, heart disease, diabetes. And you sure as heck don't have to be the 70, 80, 90-year-old that's hunched over in chronic pain, joints falling apart with 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 different medications. But the reason why it is that a lot of people are in that particular state of health is because they believe this lie, that your genes control your health. And so I want to hit on that today, because that particular lie or belief system can allow you to maybe rest a little easy, and that, well, I don't have control of it, so therefore I don't have to work towards fixing it. I get this a lot as a chiropractor. I get this a lot when it comes to somebody who focuses on chronic disease reversal, nutrition, when it comes to the heart, when it comes to the spine, when it comes to the gut, when it comes to the brain. I hear things like this. Gut issues run in my family. My aunt has it. My mother had gut issues. And so therefore, that's why I have it. Cancer runs in my family. My dad had cancer. My aunt had cancer. And my aunt was a marathon runner who ran, 50 miles a day, and looked great and was the healthiest person I know. And they got cancer. And so therefore, I'm susceptible to cancer. My grandfather had a bad spine and had like 4 back surgeries. My uncle had a bad spine and had like 4 back surgeries. And therefore, that's why I have a bad back. And so I want to break this down for you. And before I do, a really good book and resource that you should look into, Bruce Lipton. He was a professor at Stanford Medical School. Really, really great guy, really brilliant guy. And he wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. And this kind of took the genetic, hey, you're born with bad genes kind of a thing, and our genes control our health. And what he did is he looked at it and he said, listen, that's just bad science. But he breaks down in that book, and I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, is that basically you have a cell, and on the inside of that cell, you've got the DNA. And so medicine has got us to believe that, hey, you're born with bad genes. Like, those genes won't change. Like, if you've got heart disease that runs in your family, or cholesterol issues or whatever, like that's what you have. Well, he's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So you have a cell, and you've got the DNA inside, and you've got these proteins on the outside of the cell. And those proteins have receptors. And those receptors can cling on to good things, but they can also cling on to bad things based upon your environment. So what he says is that your environment is really what you should be concerned about. Your environment is what you should be focusing on. You shouldn't be focusing on the fact that, hey, well, I got bad genes. Because your environment can actually change the expression of how that gene is expressed. He uses the analogy that your genes are like a gun, right? If you've got a gun, everybody's got one, and the hammer's cocked, right? But until you pull the trigger, the gun doesn't go off. And so, bad food, bad lifestyle, chemically, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of these different things, good or bad, can change the expression of that gene. And so I want you to focus on the expression. Is the lifestyle choice that I'm making today donuts or apple, steak or Chick-fil-A, sitting on the couch, with my like belly wrap on, watching Netflix, praying that my belly fat's going to go away, or I got my butt in the gym. Horrible, cheap, probiotics or supplements that are full of titanium dioxide and blue number 5 and grain-fed protein and all these different things, versus like grass-fed, healthy, whole food supplementation that's been researched. Am I putting all of these different toxins in my body that haven't been scientifically proven to be called safe and effective? Those are the things that we need to be focusing on: our environment, our lifestyle. Because here's what I can say. You may have a genetic predisposition for something, but you don't actually have to express that. You may have cancer that runs in your family, but you don't have to get cancer. You may have ulcerative colitis that runs in your family, but you don't actually have to have the symptoms, and you can go into complete remission or even reverse that. Cancer may run in your family, but you don't have to have a cancer. Depression can run in your family, but that doesn't mean that you have to have it. Osteoporosis and degenerating spines, your uncle may have it, but that has nothing to do with you. I can almost guarantee you that your Uncle Bob sat on the couch and didn't do anything for his spine either, and ate horrible food and didn't exercise, and guess what? His spine fell apart, and you're doing the same exact thing. So it's not a genetic thing; it is a lifestyle thing. And so you are a reflection of your lifestyle choices. And so that's what we need to focus on. Stop blaming your health on your genes, and stop making decisions on your genes. Make decisions based upon your lifestyle. Is this good? A lot of it's just common sense, right? I was talking to somebody today just about what you feed a baby, and what we feed our kids, and is it Gerber baby food with high fructose corn syrup and things in it that you can't recognize, or is it an egg, right? Is it cutting up apples for your 3-year-old to eat, or is it some man-made, manufactured chemical poison that you're giving your child because that's what your pediatrician said to eat? Now, not all pediatricians would say that, but it's common sense, right? Get outside in the sun and move and exercise, or stay in front of a video game all day, right? A lot of this stuff is just common sense that we've overcomplicated, and it's very simple, right? Eat food that God put on the planet. Exercise on a regular basis, get plenty of sunlight, take the necessary essential supplementations that you need, take care of your nervous system, your central nervous system, take care of your spine. Yes, I'm a chiropractor, but it's just common sense. Like it's the frame. I'm sitting in a truck right now. This truck has a frame. That frame is your spine. If you bend the frame of your spine, or you don't take care of the frame of your truck, you could put the most expensive tires on it. You can put the best gas in it, all you want, but your car's not going to run right. And so you got to take care of those kind of things. Your spiritual health. Your mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. These are all things that are vital for the expression of health. If we focus on those things, and we focus less on what can I take, what can I inject into my body, and what can I shortcut to try to biohack my health, versus I'm just going to consistently do the right things on a regular basis as much as I possibly can. And guess what? Nobody's perfect. You're going to fall off the wagon. You're going to make bad choices. But when you have a system and you're somewhat consistent and you do these things 80% of the time, I can guarantee you that you will be the person who has less aches, pains, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, back problems, because you chose to focus on lifestyle and environment and trust that your body was not born sick and weak. If you're a Christian out there right now and you're listening to this and you believe that your body was genetically born weak, like, you've got to get a different mindset. Like, you got to read the Bible that I have read that says you are beautifully and wonderfully created in God's image, and he does not create junk. Like, I'm sick and tired of hearing Christians say, well, hey, this is how it's supposed to be. My doctor said that my cholesterol is high because it's my bad genes, and so therefore I'm just going to take my cholesterol pills every day and, and just, the heck with it. I mean, I don't know what you're reading, and I don't know what book you're reading, but you got to wake up for a second. And we've got to realize that your body was not born sick and weak, that 98% of all chronic disease and sickness is based upon environment, and really only about 2% you can blame on your genetics, like Down syndrome and chromosomal mutations and things like that. But my goodness, like the things that are killing our culture, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, depression, anxiety, infertility, all these different things, like those are lifestyle things that it takes work. And unfortunately, it's all out of pocket because insurance doesn't want you to be healthy. They want to create customers. They want you to be on the medical merry-go-round, and they want to keep feeding you pills, which is why, a lot of times in our office, insurance doesn't cover, for your spine to be corrected. And you can go to other chiropractors where they'll, see you for a few visits and put you on every single machine on the planet to make your back pain go away, but they won't actually correct the root cause of the problem. And people think that I'm crazy. No, it's just, I'm a health doctor. We're health doctors, and health isn't something that insurance pays for. It's called health insurance, but it's called sick insurance. It's like the moment that you're not sick anymore and your symptoms go away, and, then we're not going to pay for that. We'll pay for your cholesterol medication. We'll pay for your blood pressure medication. We'll pay for your chemotherapy. We'll pay for your Ozempic. So that way we can manipulate your physiology to make you believe that you're healthy, even though, it's killing you. But we're not going to pay for your Whole Foods card. We're not going to pay for your CrossFit membership. We're not going to pay for your Bible. We're not going to pay for your home rehab, spinal rehabilitation, home care. We're not going to pay for anything, any seminar or anything you want to go to get better with your family. We're not going to pay for any of that. But we will pay for the things that are going to symptomatically make you feel better. And that's a mindset that we've got to shift away from. Because I told this to my team the other day, no one's coming to save you. You have to put the work in. And the greatest mindset shift that you could ever make is that your body was not born sick and weak. Your body was born beautifully and wonderfully created in God's image. And so therefore, if you're sick, if you're overweight, if you've got a chronic disease, you need to take a step back for a second, find somebody who can help lead you in the right direction, and medicine and pills will never do that. So go to revivechiro.com. That's revivechiro.com. Get more information. You can schedule a new patient appointment. We'd love to help you. That's what I got. Don't blame your health on your genes. Have a good day.